What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Friday, April 16th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comment section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We are rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Luka Doncic, Michael Porter Jr., Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, and Terrence Ross on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? It is time to find out. First up at number 5, we're going to MALACHI FLYNN, point guard eligible, 5,500, projected for 33.5. The goal is 41, and he is in the optimal lineup 25% of the time. Flynn should be in line for big minutes here because there's going to be no Kyle Lowry, no OG Anunoby, no Pascal Siakam, no DeAndre Bembry, and somebody else that I can't think of off the top of my head. The only guy that we're going to have that we normally have is Fred VanVLEET. I think that they both play north of 30 minutes, and he looks like a great value. 34 minutes, 0.99 fantasy points per minute is where I have him. He sees a bit of a usage bump with all those guys off the floor. Have to assume that that continues. 21% usage, 15 points, 6 assists, 4 boards. It's a slight pace down spot against Orlando, but Orlando is barely an NBA team, even less so than this walking wounded Toronto Raptors team. And 5,500 for Flynn is just not that problematic of a price tag. You're getting more than starter minutes, close to a fantasy point per minute, and it's only 5,500. That works perfectly for me today. Next up at number 4, we're going to the power forward spot, $4,800 Isaiah Stewart. He's projected for about 32 fantasy points. The goal is 39, and he is in the optimal lineup 27% of the time. The Pistons are not going to be playing a lot of real players. No Jeremy Grant, no Dennis Smith Jr., no Mason Plumlee. I'm missing a couple other guys that aren't playing today. Look, it's the Pistons. They have like 27 dudes that are all not good, but most of the ones that aren't playing today. So that's why Isaiah Stewart is set to play 31 minutes, just north of a fantasy point per minute. Now, he's a lower usage guy, so it's just 16%, but 13 points and 9 boards is a really nice baseline, pretty close to a double-double, projected for 2.4 stocks, taking on an Oklahoma City team that is much like Detroit, not filled with a ton of NBA players right now. So for Stewart, him having power forward eligibility on FanDuel is massive. Not getting caught up in just the single center output. You can roster Stewart a ton, and I expect him to be incredibly popular given this outlook. Isaiah Stewart, the number 4 contender today. Next up at number 3, we're paying up a little bit more, going to the shooting guard spot for Bradley Beal. He is 8,400, projected for 44. The goal is 51, and he is in the optimal lineup 27% of the time. Beal is back to his normal self-ish, 36 minutes at the very least. He's back to his normal playing time. I've got him in at 1.2 fantasy points per minute, and you get everything that you know you get out of Bradley Beal. 33% usage, 31 real points, 4.5 assists, 4.5 boards, a steal. It's a pace neutral spot against the Pelicans, but it should be a pretty fun game in general, and at the very least, it could be pretty up and down. I'm excited to watch this one. You know that Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook soak up everything for this Washington Wizards team, and if we can still get Bradley Beal at a mid-8s price tag, there's no way around it. You have to have him today. Or you could pay up a little bit further in the same game and go to power forward Zion Williamson. He is 10K, projected for 51. The goal is 57, and he is also in the optimal lineup 27% of the time. He's on a completely different level as of late. Just one of the most efficient scorers in the NBA. No one can slow him down. No one can stop him. And just for the record, the Wizards don't have the bodies to even try to do it. 36 minutes for Zion. 1.42 fantasy points per minute, 33% usage, 34 real points, almost 8 boards, almost 4 assists, 2 stocks, and the best matchup you get, 4.6 additional possessions over the average for the New Orleans Pelicans. This is the biggest pace up spot that you can find, and the Pelicans are in it right now. I expect Zion to work this Wizards team. If the field goal attempts can be there, a highly efficient, like 18 made field goal game is not outside the realm of possibility. He's going to smash. I'm more than okay paying 10K for Zion. I think he pairs really nicely at the power forward spot with Isaiah Stewart. Now, he's my number 2 contender. That's close, but who's number 1? Before we get to that number one contender, one last reminder, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Then head on over to Twitter, follow me at Josh Engleman so you can get the updates to the sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in this comment section your favorite contender, your least favorite contender, and the contender that you think should be on this list that I have not talked about yet today. Welcome back to the number one contender, shooting guard Fred VanVLEET. He is 7,400, projected for 41. The goal is 48. He's in the optimal lineup 30% of the time. Now, normally, when Fred VanVLEET comes back, he just goes straight back into his normal role. I'm trying to be a little bit pessimistic here. I gave him 32 minutes, but I don't think it would be crazy if he played 34 or 36. He sees massive usage bumps with no Kyle Lowry and no Pascal Siakam on the floor. I've got him at 1.29 fantasy points per minute, 32% usage. He's been higher than that in that sample so far this season, but I don't want to be that aggressive. 23 points, 7 assists, 3 boards, 2 stocks. Now, it's a pace down spot against Orlando, but I don't mind that at all. Fred VanVLEET is massively underpriced for this spot. Unless we hear that he is on a minutes limit under 30, he is going to continue to be what I would imagine to be the number one contender on today's slate. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Friday, April 16th. There's a DraftKings version of this video around here somewhere. We've already done the process show. Go check that out. Strategy show today with Floffy at 10 a.m. You got to watch that one. It's the best in the business. And then I'm done. I'm not on live before lock, so you got to keep your eyes peeled for my updates on Twitter. I know I was off yesterday. I will be back tonight. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm expecting a lot of things up in the air throughout the day. So the update at around 6 p.m. will be pretty big. Good luck tonight, everybody. Please have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. I will talk to you guys again on Monday for another edition of the Contenders.